Why don't you join me in welcoming our ladies for their group dance. There they are. All right, now we're going to take a moment to meet our contestants one at a time. They've all been assigned contestant numbers. And just to keep things straight, we're going to do them in order. Contestant number 1 is Margaret Crane. Margaret? There were 8 children in Margaret's family, 6 girls, 2 boys. She had the responsibility of caring for the 2 youngest and talks about taking her sister to dance class, drawing pictures on her back to help her sleep. Margaret has 2 sons, one in Capitola and one in Ione. Her son in Ione loves playing pool, walks miles every day, and is a great cook. She enjoys painting, dancing, loves her son, and shares his cooking talent with who shares his cooking talent with her twice a week. That's contestant number 1, Margaret Crane. All right, let's meet contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Wanda and her wonderful husband, Harry, have been married and lived in the same house for 53 years. They're proud of their 6 children, Ronnie, Deborah, Brian, Matt, Mike, Sandy. And she's also proud of her Native American heritage. She loves to dance, enjoys traveling around the United States because she enjoys lunching with seniors in Plymouth. She's happy to support this fundraiser for Meals on Wheels. That's contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Contestant number 3 is Debbie Parlin. Debbie comes to us from Placerville. She's the mother of 2, Sasha, 29, and Nick, 20. She's retired from the U.S. Forest Service but continues to lend her support during fire season. Her hobbies include vegetable and flower gardening, propagating succulents, and that's to make fairy gardens and crafts. And she also enjoys travel with family and friends. That's contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin. Next up, let's meet contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter. Laura retired from her 30-year career as a social worker. She pursued her passion for art. She quilts, paints, knits, crochets. She spun her own yarn and has woven cloth. She makes art gourds. She has entered her creations at the Amador County Fair and other art festivals. She's won numerous ribbons. Wanting to provide a place for local artists to display their work, she helped start the Sutter Creek Art Gallery. She's also shared her crafty gene with her daughters and 3 grandchildren. That's contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter. Let's meet contestant number 5, Vicki. Is it Nigrin? Is that here? Nigrin? Vicki Nygren. Vicki was born in rural Illinois to a homemaker and a service station attendant. She moved to California in 1977, has lived in Amador County since 2004. She's the mother of 3, the grandmother to 3. That's contestant number 5, Vicki Nygren. Contestant number 6 is Cassandra Collins. Cassandra grew up on a farm in Iowa. She moved to Los Angeles in 1969, where she experienced life as a hippie, a dancer, an insurance adjuster, treasurer, legal transcriber, and in state and county government and in administration. After 25 years, retired to Northern California. Cassandra has a wonderful daughter living in LA while she lives in Amador Pines with her best friend and his 11-year-old son. She has a deep love of nature. She's inherited from her parents and grandparents and will never take for granted the beauty of Amador County. That's contestant number 6, Cassandra Collins. All right, let's meet contestant number 7, Charlene Buckley. Charlene lives in Sutter Creek, is married, has 2 adult children. Her husband, Buck, is a current commander of the American Legion Post 108. Charlene is the backbone of the American Legion Auxiliary. She and her ladies not only provide a tasty and nutritious meal for Legion members, but they also feed hundreds of Memorial Day and on Memorial Day and Veterans Day. She's fascinated by American and California history, shares her enthusiasm with school children, and she founded a Wild West reenactment group. That's contestant number 7, Charlene Buckley. Next up, contestant number 8, Judy Way. "19 years ago, while still working in Sacramento, Judy and husband Ed moved to Ione. In 2010, they retired, enjoyed traveling the United States. When home, she enjoys sewing and gardening and says her talents include organizing things and public speaking. That's contestant number 8, Judy Way. And let's round things out with contestant number 9, Ingrid Sable. Ingrid immigrated from Germany to the Bay Area in 1979, and in 1983 moved to Calaveras County. She's a widow, has a son and a daughter and 4 grandchildren, and a boyfriend. When not caring for sheep, chickens, cats, dogs on a ranch in Burson, she swims and works out at a gym. She also plays the accordion and sings in a choir. She's very proud of her daughter, who has her own dental lab and horse ranch, her son, who writes comic books, and her talented granddaughter that plays 3 instruments and sings. That's contestant number 9, Ingrid Sable. All right, how about another big round of applause for all of our lovely contestants. All right, ladies, Are you going to dance off the stage? What happens now? All right. So we're going to take a moment to introduce you to our esteemed panel of judges. I'm going to find my cheat sheet here in no particular order. Jim Giddy, would you raise your hand? Jim started his career with hometown radio 42 years ago with KNGT, or K-Nugget as some of us knew it, and continues today with KVGC Radio, AM/FM. Giddy has been an innovator, surprising people with internet streaming and video and developing techniques for producing radio ads that are now used by others in the industry. Jim was honored with the 2018 Business Person of the Year Award, also received the 2001 Amador County Citizen of the Year Award, and was the recipient of the 2006 Amador County Chamber of Commerce Margaret Dalton Golden Nugget Award. In 2017, Jim was named the Red Cross Good Samaritan for the Greater Motherlode region. That's 14 counties. Jim recently completed a 2-year term as president of the Amador County Chamber of Commerce and is a current member of the Chamber Executive Committee and Board of Directors. Jim's claim to fame is being the husband of Teresa Ferdani and the father of 3 great sons. That's Jim Giddy, everybody. Next up, Jamie Armstrong. Jamie's been involved in the Preston Castle Foundation since 2014, starting with the Halloween Haunt. She quickly took to the castle and extended her volunteer efforts to historical tours. She's chaired many of the fundraising events throughout the year. Her volunteer duties include being part of the Preston Castle Board of Directors while holding a full-time position as CEO of the Amador County Chamber. Her ability to coordinate and manage different people and personalities has led her to the role of beloved haunt mom for 4 years, and hopefully more to come. That's our judge, Jamie Armstrong. Supervisor Jeff Brown. Supervisor Brown proudly represents Amador County's District 3. After 24 years in the Air Force and 11 years in the USDA Forest Service, Jeff learned that what commitment and loyalty is not only to his country but to the community. He has a strong yet nurturing leadership style that's proving to be an asset in the Upcountry District, where he is the chairperson of the Upcountry Community Council, the president of the First Mace Meadow Water Association, and Jeff's proud of his family and happy that his wife, mother, son, and his wife and new granddaughter all live close by to each other there in Mace Meadows. It's Supervisor Jeff Brown. Next up, let's meet Dana Jorgensen. Dana has a long and varied resume of representing elected officials here in the area. Very long, very long. And Dana previously worked with State Senator Ted Gaines, Dave Cox, Rico Aller, Congressman Tom Berryhill, as well as Assemblyman David Knowles, and current Assemblyman Tom Bigelow. His in-depth knowledge of federal, state, and local government has made him an invaluable asset to these officers and to the constituents in the area. And when Dana says, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help," don't laugh at him. I mean, he really is. He truly is. He has a proven track record of assisting constituents here and local governments to work through problems with the state bureaucracy. He's been recognized by the Amador County Chamber of Commerce with the Golden Nugget Award for his outstanding service to the community. That's Dana Jorgensen. Next up is Tammy, is it Beilstein? Beilstein. Tammy Beilstein. Tammy, raise your hand. Tammy Beilstein is one of the most recognized faces in Calaveras County. She's the host of Tammy's Window on Calaveras. It's an in-studio show featuring discussions with select people of Calaveras. It's shown 7 days a week for the last 9 years. Tammy is also a Grief Buster coordinator with Hospice of Amador and Calaveras. The Grief Busters program is comprised of specially vetted volunteers, individually trained to work with school-aged children 5 to 19 who are grieving the death of a loved one. Hospice serves the terminally ill and their families with in-home nursing support and care, as well as help to the caregiver with the patient. Hospice care is available to all patients, regardless of their ability to pay. Married to Mark for 33 years. They have a son, Blake, a daughter, Tatiana, and a soon-to-be son-in-law, Chad. Tatiana and Chad are here taking pictures tonight. We got to meet them. Oh, there's Tatiana. Chad's the other tall man who's walking around with the camera. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. All right, so thank you for your help, and thanks for judging, Tammy. All right, and let's meet Alan McNanny. Mr. McNanny started his career with the American Legion Ambulance Service in 1993 as an EMT. In 1996, Mr. McNanny obtained his paramedic license. In 2001, he was promoted to operations manager and then vice president in 2008. In August of last year, Mr. McNanny was hired as new president of American Legion Ambulance Service. Yeah, that's worth an applause. Mr. McNanny sits on many local committees, and his knowledge of EMS is recognized throughout the state. He's currently serving his second year as the president of the California Ambulance Association. And those are, how about another big round of applause for all of our judges. Who's ready to see some talent? Is our contestant number one ready back there? All right. Here she is, contestant number one, Margaret Crane.
It ain't about the way you look, and I don't care if you can cook. Your voice is soothing when you talk. What I like is the way you walk. Nothing special about the clothes you wear, or even the style of your hair. Excuse me if I gawk, but I really like the way you walk. You wonder why I'm so slow. Gotta move over and let you go. The view is just so fine from just a few steps behind. Takes a lot to please a crowd, but what you got, you should be proud. So just before I go into shock, I really like the way you walk. So slow, gotta move over and let you go. The view is just so fine from just a few steps behind. Takes a lot to please a crowd, but what you got, you should be proud. Just before I go into shock, I really like the way you walk. yeah.
And that's number one, Margaret Crane. So I had the pleasure of taking Margaret's portrait on her birthday this year. Margaret, do you mind if I say what birthday that was? Is it okay? Yeah. It was birthday number 93 this year. All right, let's hear it from Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. All right, let's welcome to the stage contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So hard to find good roadies these days.
Is that good?
Yeah, it should be great. I want to thank each and every one of you personally for being here tonight. This is very close to my heart. And it's an organization that is wonderful. And I love all the seniors. I'm Native American. I was born in the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma. And my great-grandfather lived with my family until he passed away at the age of 99. He was Cherokee. And we were taught from the time we were small to respect and take care of our elders. And so we learned to take care of our elders and respect them. I want to tell you a Cherokee fable. It's a tale of two wolves. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is angry, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, and 40 lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolent, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The young grandson says, but grandfather, which of the two will win? And the grandfather said, the old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. So the choice is up to you. Thank you very much for being here.
That's contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Boy, can everybody feel the tension in the room tonight? Up here, it's like a mixture of Chanel No. 5 and Asper cream. All right. Let's get ready to welcome contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to share with you a poem written by my late father. He was a published poet, but this particular poem was never published, but it is one of my favorites. It's called Darkness. At the end of each long day, as night begins to fall, the comforting light fades away and darkness covers all. I do not fear the darkness, for each and every night I light a tallow candle and I keep it burning bright. Some days I can hardly wait for night to reappear, You see, I've learned the secret of what the darkness fears. For just the smallest candle can light a darkened room and bring back out life within it by chasing out the gloom. For all the darkness in the world, and even the darkest night, can't stop the glow that issues forth from a single candlelight. Thank you.
Ask contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin. All right, let's bring out contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter.
When I am old, I want to say a little bit about when I get old. When I am old, I plan to wear bright colors with lots of flowers and go out in the wilds with them, but I won't get lost because they'll be bright. And I will wear bright colored socks that I knit for myself to keep my feet toasty. And if you don't think to keep your feet toasty, ask my family. And I will wear red cowgirl boots because when I was a kid, I always wanted cowgirl boots. And so I will wear red cowgirl boots if I can get them on. And then I will go out dancing. And I will wear big floppy hats to keep the sun out of my eyes. And carry a pink umbrella. In case it rains, I'll keep my hat dry, and then I can poke people when they walk by. And after I'm all dressed, I'll dress my dogs, silly little outfits, and we will go for walks down to the park, and it will be like a little parade. And I will, when I am old, I will give people presents, but not on their birthdays or just at Christmas, but on days when they least expect it and most need it. And when I am old, I will plant flowers in my garden, beautiful flowers that will attract butterflies. And when the butterflies come to smell the flowers, I will talk to the flowers and watch the butterflies. When I am old, I will sit in the park and knit. And while I knit, I will talk to strangers passing by and ask them to tell me the stories of their life. All of these things I will do when I am old because they will make me happy. But wait, I already am happy. Does that make me old?
Ask contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter. That was cute, wasn't it? When I'm old, I'm going to MC senior beauty pageants. That's what I'm going to do. All right, let's bring out contestant number 5, Vicki Nygren.
Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Dolly. So Dolly, are you enjoying the evening?
Well, not so far.
Why? What happened?
Well, a cop stopped me on the way here.
Did he give you a ticket?
He tapped on my windshield, but I said, "Hold on, I'm on the phone."
So did he give you a ticket?
No, I gave him a donut.
So how is your driving, Dolly?
Well, I got something on my windshield the other day, and it said parking fine. So I'm great.
Where were you when you got this note on your car?
Well, I was getting myself some camouflage pants, but I couldn't find them anywhere. I was seeing, but nothing was to be found.
Did you make a New Year's resolution this year, Dolly?
I did. I made a resolution that I was going to get in shape.
And what shape?
Round. It worked for me. I'm great.
Do you have any advice for the audience?
I do. My therapist told me the way to inner peace and happiness is to finish what I start.
And how's that going for you?
Great. I ate 2 big bags of M&Ms and a chocolate bunny, and I feel great. Yes, I do.
You know, they say money can't buy happiness.
Well, I bought a Happy Meal the other day, and I'm happy. You know, and you know.
This is
and
gonna be
I
good.
don't know.
Do you have a cell phone?
I do have a cell phone. Yes, I do. And I had to get a new 8-character password.
Really? What'd you choose?
Well, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, of course.
Do you watch YouTube on your phone?
I do. I just watched a YouTube on shipbuilding.
And how was that?
Riveting!
Okay.
And you know, my father, he's somewhere up there looking at this right now.
I didn't know that your father was dead. I'm so sorry.
No, he's not dead. He's just condescending. You know, I have a question for you.
What's that?
How come the Miss Universe pageant is only won by people on Earth?
Good question.
Do you know why the Indians came to America first?
No, why?
Because they had reservations, of course.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Donna. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
Thank you, Sam. That's contestant number 5, Vicki Nygren. And her friend Virginia. All right, let's bring out contestant number 6, Cassandra Collins.
Ooh. I guess that's it. So, everybody having fun? Good, good. Well, I'm going to read a story for Fee Woke and Bigger People Too. That's We Folk and Bigger People Too. It's a story about Cinderella, who lived in a big harked house with a mean mipstother and her 2 sisty ugglers. They made Cinderella do all the wordy dirt while they sat around cheating opalettes and magging riazines. One day when Cinderella was in the kitchen flopping the moor, the 2 sisters came to her and said, "Guess what? The Prancing Hints is throwing a fancy fresh brawl, and we're invited. Too bad you can't go." So Cinderella went back in the kitchen with ears in her ties, and she was just about to chickasee a frickin' when suddenly there was a blinding flash of light. And there in front of her was this beautiful berry. And she said, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the fairy said, "I'm your Gary Godmother." And Cinderella said, "Oh, may I go to the ball?" And the fairy said, "Well, that's quite a wish, but sure." So she waved her magic wand, and Cinderella was instantly transformed into a vanishing Rudy. She had a long white cap and gown, and a necklace of rubies and pearls. And on her feet were 2 tiny glass slippers. And the fairy said, "Now you may go, but you must be home by midnight." Cinderella said, "Okay," and she was off. Soon she cast to the camel that came to the castle, and the first 2 people she saw were the 2 sisty ugglers. But she was so beautiful, they didn't Cinderize Recogniella. So they introduced her to the Prancing Hints. He said, "You're so beautiful, you remind me of Beeping Slooty. May I jab his hands?" And he was just about to ask for her mare in handage, when suddenly the clock started to strike 12, and Cinderella banned from the wall. But as she did, one of the glass slippers flipped from her foot. The Prancing Hints picked it up and said, "Now all I have to do is find the woman whose foot this slipper fits, and I'll know with whom I've brawled and fove." So the next day he went from house to house, and you can't turn that around. Soon he came to the sin where Housterella lived, and he knocked on the door. And who should come to the door but the 2 sisty ugglers? And he said, "I'm looking for the woman whose foot this flipper sits." Well, of course, their feet were too fig. But then it was Cinderella's turn, and guess what? It fitted perfectly. Oh, they were married, and they lived happily ever after. They happily ever after. Oh, I blew that one, sorry. And that's the story of Cinderella. But you see, there's a moral to this fairy tale, because Cinderella never gave up. And as you walk down the pathway of life, never give up. George Washington never gave up. Abraham Lincoln never gave up. Oliver Twist, who's he? You don't know, because he gave up. So always remember this little philosophy. Some of our smubbles are trig, and some of our bubbles are small. But if we didn't have any hubbles, how could we recognize our ressings? Thank you.
Contestant number 6, Cassandra Collins. And I saw some of you out there like doing this. All right. Contestant number 7, Charlene Buckley.
Hi. Wow. Do you know, I was put on trial in Nevada for wearing pants. They said American women wear corsets and bloomers and petticoats. But I was from France, and we worked in the fields. So we wore pantaloons, and in Jackson, California, they put me on trial again for wearing bloomers. But the men in Jackson didn't have a problem with it. When I first came to America from France with my husband Sebastian and my brother Albert, we entered into an agreement with Monsieur Duvet to work in the vineyards and to work in the gravel mines. Alas, my husband passed away, and then my brother. So in order to fulfill the government, all these agreements you have to make, as you know, I started to work in the grapevines. And I made the sweetest brandy. And then storms hit, and my vineyard was just destroyed. And then the mine. You might know where we were at. Are you familiar with a little town called Butte City? Oh my word.
I've been gone since 1892 and you don't know where Butte City is? Well, my name is Marie Suisse. They call me Madame Pantalones. And I made the sweetest brandy in Amador County, I think. Up in the Jackson Catholic Cemetery by this beautiful flagpole, the Amador County Historical Society and my wonderful community in France dedicated a plaque to me that tells everything that I did. They don't know where I was buried, but I was pretty close to Andre Duvet. He was my best friend. So go check out the cemetery and find out more about Madame Pantalones. Au revoir.
That's contestant number 7, Charlene Buckley. All right, let's bring out contestant number 8, Judy Way.
Good evening, everyone. The story I'm about to read to you is a true story. It happened every Friday evening, almost without fail. Old Ed came strolling along the beach to his favorite pier. Clutched into his bony hand is a bucket of shrimp. Ed walks out to the end of the pier. He's alone with his thoughts and his bucket of shrimp. Before long, however, he is no longer alone. Up in the sky, 1,000 white dots come screeching and squawking, winging their way toward the lanky frame standing there on the end of the pier. Before long, dozens of seagulls have enveloped him. Old Ed stands there tossing shrimp to the hungry birds, and as he does, if you listen closely, you can hear him say with a smile, "Thank you, thank you." In a few short minutes, the bucket was empty. But old Ed didn't leave. He stands there, lost in thought, as though transported to another time and place. Ed quietly makes his way down to the end of the beach and on home. His full name is Captain Eddie Ridenbacher. He was a hero in World War II. On one of his flying missions across the Pacific, he and his 7-member crew went down. Miraculously, all the men survived. They crawled out of their plane and onto the life raft. Captain Ridenbacher and his crew floated for days on the rough waters of the Pacific. They fought hunger and thirst. By the 8th day, the rations ran out. No food, no water. They were hundreds of miles from land, and no one knew if they were even alive or not. The men needed a miracle. That afternoon, they had a simple devotional service and practiced and prayed for a miracle. Then they tried to nap. Eddie leaned back, pulled his military cap over his nose. All he could hear was the slap of waves against his raft. Suddenly, Eddie felt something on the top of his cap. It was a seagull. Old Ed would later describe how he sat there perfectly still, planning his next move. With a flash of a hand and a squawk from the gull, he managed to grab it and wring its neck. He tore the feathers off, and he and his starving crew made a meal of it. A very slight meal at that. Then they used the intestines for bait with it and caught fish, which gave them food and more bait. And the cycle continued. With that simple survival technique, they were able to endure the rigors of the sea until they were found 24 days later. Eddie Ridenbacher lived many years beyond that ordeal, but he never forgot the sacrifice of that first life-saving seagull, and he never stopped saying thank you. That's why almost every Friday night he would walk to the end of the pier with a bucket full of shrimp and a heart full of gratitude. Thank you.
That was contestant number 8, Judy Way. All right. Are we ready for our final contestant? That's contestant number 9, Ingrid Seybold. right, how about a big round of applause for all of our contestants in our talent portion. All right, we're going to switch things back over to the Route 88 band as the ladies put on their evening gowns and we prepare for the second half of our evening. So let's join me in welcoming Aldo and the band. Aren't they great? All right, as the salads are coming out, we're going to ask everybody to find their seat. And Brian is queuing up a video. And as the people find their seats, we'll bring the lights down a little bit and show you our Common Ground video presentation. We hope you enjoy it.
I believe the focus should be on the people, on the seniors that we serve. We serve seniors 60 and older. They've contributed a lot to our community, and I really believe that as an agency, we need to get back to them and helping them to stay in their homes and live a fulfilled life.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. As you know, we have this
The in-service training is more so that we in the office understands the needs that are out there through our driver's eyes, who are we depend upon a lot to bring back information regarding what they see.
Easter cards. Easter is this coming Sunday, and the Women's Club of Jackson made all these cards. So every day you will have a group of cards to take to your seniors.
Doug is not a paid hero. He's a volunteer driver. Yes, and he volunteers here in Calaveras County 3 days a week. He was doing 4 days a week, and then he's down to 3 days a week, and he loves the long routes. He used to be a truck driver, I believe, so he really loves driving. And he goes all the way from Copperopolis up to Arnold, and just the really long hauls he really enjoys. And
I got a little Easter card here for you and a newsletter.
Okay.
This is your food. If you want, I can set it right there on the countertop.
Put it on the countertop. My sister-in-law will put that. Yeah, this is really great for me because I work 40 hours a week and I'm on my feet all day. And when I come home, it's just really hard to be able to come in the kitchen and make something. And so this right here really, really helps. So sometimes I just don't have the energy or the time. I'm able to pop one of these things in the microwave and give it to her, and it's perfect. It helps so much.
feedback from our drivers is really important. They are our eyes and ears, and they do report back. We teach them what signs to look for in seniors if they're not taking care of themselves and so forth.
Well, yeah, I deliver meals, but there's more to it than that. When I'm saying good morning to these people and, you know, how's it going, I'm also doing a visual check on them, looking for any cuts or abrasions or anything, because, you know, old people fall, and especially men, they don't want to go to the doctor, so they're not going to say anything to anybody. And if I can detect it, I'll ask them, how did that happen? A lot of times you get the answer, well, you know, I've been to the doctor already, or whatever it is. But yeah, we're, and it's not just me, we're all doing welfare checks on these people.
We had some financial problems, but on top of that, I had become disabled. I can't walk real good, I can't be on my feet for a long time, so I wasn't cooking, and it was just real hard. We were insisting on frozen food at that time, but it was from the grocery store. And I remembered the couple across the street had got Meals on Wheels when they were our age, and I thought they were old. So I mentioned today that we could get Meals on Wheels, and we should call and see. And I've got to tell you, I have never been much of a vegetable eater until I got Meals on Wheels. And now I love carrots, and I love peas, and those are things I never would have cooked before. So, if nothing else, we are getting our daily vegetables, and I'm real happy for that. Dave agrees with that. We really like the food.
The Rancheria is completing our permanent facility, which is right a couple doors down from where we're at right now, and have put in all the equipment that we need so that it's a, you know, so we don't have to worry about having to move again or where to relocate the building. So we're very, very grateful to the tribe.
My own has grown, so I would definitely offer it there. It's just that now I have the cost of the driver again to come over here. If it's only $6 and it's costing $6 for the meal, so you know what I'm saying.
Personally, in my life, my mother was 90 years old before she passed, and she lived with me, took care of her, and I showed her, you know, I mean, I was able to help her. and as well as my husband. So it's been really difficult watching the process of aging, and yet some of us have family members, some of us have friends, some of us have community to help. There are so many that do not. And especially in communities like ours in Amador and Calaveras County, living out in very rural, isolated areas, isolation is huge. It's difficult to ascertain services. It's difficult to get people to help you. I always think Meals on Wheels in the city is easier because there's a grocery store every single round, and you can go solicit them to come, to donate and stuff like that. But we don't have that here in Calaveras County or Amador County. We're very limited. There's other nonprofits that have the same thing, so we're all challenged that way. But these are seniors that are 60 and older, and a lot of the clients that we do have are not just 60 and older. They're in their 70s and 80s. This morning I reported that we have probably about 50 people over in our programs right now that are over the age of 75. That is huge. And they're here because of Meals on Wheels. They're here because we're able to go out and deliver meals to them. We're here because we're able to give them rides. They're still in their home. They need to be in their home. That's their home. Institutionalization for seniors is just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking is what I say. So I don't know. I mean, asking somebody to help understand that. Look at your family members. Look at what they're going through, and I don't know. I just feel that seniors have given us so much of their time, so much of their gifts, and it's time for us to be able to be there for them and to help them. So.
And please help me in welcoming Jack McGee.
God bless
everybody.
America,
land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her
through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Our representatives from the armed services are going to help escort our ladies in this evening. Before we start that, I just wanted to give a real quick nod to Nathan, who brought in a donation to Common Ground Senior Services. So, Nathan, are you still here? Can you raise your hand? Thank you, Nathan. Thank you very much. All right, are ladies ready? Well, let's get started with contestant number 1, Margaret Crane. Accompanying Margaret, representing the United States Navy, Dick Bargehorn. Next up, let's welcome contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Wanda's escort, also representing the Navy, Ron Smith. Help me in welcoming contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin. Debbie's escort, representing the Air Force, is Robert Saraceno. Let's bring out contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter. Laura's escort from the Sons of the American Legion, Marcellus Wakefield. Contestant number 5 is Vicki Nygren. Vicki's escort, representing the Coast Guard, Frank Remick. Contestant number 6 is Cassandra Collins. Cassandra's escort, representing the Navy, Dwayne Thurston. Contestant number 7 is Charlene Buckley. Charlene's escort, representing the Air Force and commander of Post 108, Harold Buckley. Contestant number 8 is Judy Way. Escorting Judy, representing the Navy, Doug Dykes. And contestant number 9 is Ingrid Siebold. And Ingrid's escort, representing the Navy, Mike Chrisman. How about it for those lovely ladies? And let's hear it for the representatives from the armed services. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Route 88 Band. Big round of applause for them. I think we're good. All right. All our judges are in place. Okay, we're going to start with the questions, judges' questions. And I think we'll just do it in order, starting here, stage right, I guess. Is that right? And, let's start over on this side because Jim's got the little bottle of questions here. So randomly, Jim will, at no time will his fingers leave his hands. Let's bring up our contestant number 1. just pass. We'll pass the thing down. Okay, I think Margaret, you ready?
Yes.
Contestant number 1, Margaret Crane. Jim.
Margaret, good evening.
Hi. Good
Your
evening.
question is, Moses was given the 10 Commandments over 2,000 years ago. Our laws today are based on these commandments. What makes them timeless?
The 10 Commandments are a code of behavior that allows men to live together in peace and harmony. And it's something that's true year after year after year. Thank you.
That's contestant number 1, Margaret Crane. All right, let's bring up to the mic contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. Wanda? Jamie?
Good evening. What piece of advice given to new parents has been passed down generation to generation?
Well, considering I have 6 children, I think I'm pretty good at giving advice. The main thing is if it's possible, breastfeed your baby because you get a closeness with the baby. Don't use Johnson's baby powder anymore. We used it all those years, and now they're saying it's bad for the baby, so don't use it.
Are you saying hindsight's 20/20?
Yes, I am. I used it on all of mine, and they all came out perfect, so I don't understand it, but now they're saying it's not good for them.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
That's contestant number 2, Wanda Watson. All right, I think this one's better. All right, let's bring out contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin.
Evening, Devaney. Jewelry is a timeless gift. Why do you think this is?
Oh, jewelry is timeless because it transcends generations, culture. Jewelry is something that gets passed down to generations and generations. It doesn't go out of style, and who doesn't love jewelry?
Thank you.
Contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin. All right, next up, let's bring up contestant number 4. Contestant number 4 is Laura Carpenter.
Hello, Laura.
Hello.
What piece of advice given to newlyweds has been passed generation to generation?
The piece of advice that my grandmother gave me was never go to bed angry. And I think what she meant was there's always something, some way you can wait till the next day if you have to, because if you're tired, you can't possibly negotiate. But she did say never go to bed angry, and that's a good one. I think it's one of the best. Thank you.
There's negotiation? All right. All right, let's bring up contestant number 5, Vicki Nygren.
Hi.
Hi, Vicki.
Hi.
Here's your question.
Okay.
Heirlooms are passed from generation to generation. What makes these items timeless?
I think it kind of anchors you in where you are. It gives you a starting point to move on and move forward. Kind of transcends time. And I want world peace.
That's contestant number 5, Vicki Nygren. All right, let's bring up contestant number 6, Cassandra Collins.
Hello. She stole my line, by the way.
Good evening, Cassandra.
Hello.
I wish I could make time stand still. Why would someone make this wish?
Well, I figure if I was completely at peace, totally blissed out, there were no worries, I would want time to stand still. I would want it to stay just like that.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should be more.
All right, that was contestant number 6, Cassandra Collins. Here's contestant number 7, Charlene Buckley.
Hi, Dana. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Dana.
Hi. Fashions change from year to year and season to season. What article of clothing do you have that is timeless?
Well, I have bloomers that go back forever. You know, your size goes this way and it goes this way, but we all know bloomers, they just sort of fit you. That's the only thing I have that is timeless. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's welcome up contestant number 8, Judy Way.
Should I pass it or draw or what would you like?
Yeah, why don't you send it back this way,
Okay,
Dana?
let's do that. Get
Is
my
that
exercise
timeless?
for the day?
Good evening, Judy.
Good evening.
Ancestry.com has become very popular. Why would anyone want to revisit the past? So the question, why would anyone want to revisit the past?
Curiosity. I know when I was tracing back my ancestry, I was very curious as to who they were, what they did, and what type of people they were. Not necessarily to judge them, because everybody has their own way of doing things. But I found my grandfather had been a stowaway on one of the founding boats that arrived in the U.S., so it was kind of interesting. So to answer your question, curiosity. Thank you.
That's contestant number 8, Judy Wahey. All right, let's bring up contestant number 9, Ingrid Siebold.
Hello.
Why do you think music has been an important part of all cultures from prehistoric man to the present?
Because music, you can be return in your own world and express yourself the way you really like to. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid. How about a big round of applause for all of our ladies in our question and answer segment? All right, now the judges have the task of tallying the scores. Ladies, we're going to send you off stage for just a moment. You collect your thoughts, and we'll bring you back right after we have a presentation from Elizabeth and the judges tally their scores. How about a big round of applause as the ladies head back? All right, let's welcome up to the podium the Executive Director of Common Ground Senior Services, Miss Elizabeth Thompson.
Thank you, Rich. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I look out here. If you guys come up here and look what I'm seeing out here, you'd be amazed. This is a wonderful turnout, and it's all because of you. It's about community. It's about family. It's about our seniors. It's about people. It's about us, you know. And I'm really very proud to be a part of Amador and Calaveras County, where this is when you really feel what it's like to be a community. And so to all of you, I applaud you. I applaud you for being here. I applaud you for your dedication and for your support and everything else. Anyway, I've got so many people here that, I hear there's a little helper over here. I have so many people that I need to thank, and you know who you are, but my judges, I'm sorry, my queens, Judy Lane and Paulette McGee and Carol Metzger, those are the ones with the crown. My past queens, they've been out and about, helping about. Thank you so much. We could not have done this without you. At Lark, he's filming our video, and if you want a copy, just let us know. We'll get you that. Tatiana, photographer, and the gold mine, Louise and Tracy, thank you so much. And our beauty makeup people, Denary Mortuary, thank you so, so much. And of course, Route 88 and Mr. Rich Hoffman and his crew, Emily Bailey, Alexis, and of course, our sound man, Brian. Anyway, I don't want to go any further because I think we still have a little bit of time. But what I really want to do, I need to thank staff. My staff is wonderful. And then also to Annie Boyce, who is our coordinator for this pageant. And I hope she does it for the next few years because I could not do it the way she does it. So thank you, Annie.
Elizabeth Thompson, everyone. All right, I have results. So let's bring our contestants back out on stage.
Where's Sandy? There she is. There's my precious. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I ever wanted. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I'd ever wanted. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
There's our 2018 Queen, Sandy Honnold.
Ain't it the truth, huh? Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Sandy, do you have a few words?
Sure.
I'm not as tall as he is, to say the least. Aloha. That wasn't very loud. Aloha. Aloha. Right on. You can tell I lived in Hawaii. Anyway, here I am. Last year, when I was asked to be part of the senior pageant, I said, we have a senior pageant? I didn't know that. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, for old people? But here I am. I was told, oh, it's great fun. You'll have a good time. And it was true. I had a good time. Never thought I would be queen. So it was a wonderful birthday present to be selected as the queen last year on my birthday, my 74th birthday. So now you know how old I am because it's almost my birthday again. I also felt very honored to be crowned by Denny because Denny was at the end of her life, and it was one of the last things she did was to crown me last year. And Donita, who put the stash on me, also passed near the end of last year. So I'm sad about that, but I also feel very honored because these were two ladies that were full of grace and just timeless. So I felt honored. I also am so grateful to the judges who chose me and for all the support I got from Annie and Carol and the other former queens, which they do every year. They support the candidates each year, and that's wonderful. This is a great program. When I was in active ministry, my ministry was to elders, and I saw that there are elders, many in this county. I don't know Calaveras, but I trust what Elizabeth said. They're alone. They're lonely, of course, and usually sick, and that's why they can't get out. And so Common Ground offers them someone, like the video showed you, to come and visit, to see how they're doing, and to bring them nutritious food. And that is a great gift. And so I thank Common Ground. I thank you for being the audience last year, those of you who were here. See, I told you I wouldn't leave before I quit. Last year I left in the middle of my introduction. What can I tell you? I was nervous. So anyway, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful year. I got the opportunity to dance hula and to teach hula to some of the former queens. And hula's my passion, my timeless passion. And so it was just a wonderful opportunity. So thank you very much.
All right, big round of applause for Queen Sandy Honnold. All right, now I think, Sandy, we're ready to bring out our, can you peek backstage and see if they're ready? All right, here they are. Here's our contestants. Didn't they all do a great job tonight? All right, we're going to start off with Miss Congeniality. Now, this is voted on by all the other contestants. And our 2019 Miss Congeniality is contestant number 1, Margaret Crane. All right, congratulations, Margaret. All right, next up is our second runner-up. And that goes to contestant number 3, Debbie Parlin. The next member of our court and our first runner-up is contestant number 4, Laura Carpenter. All right. Congratulations, Laura. All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for. The moment we've all been waiting for. Our 2019 queen is Ingrid Siebold. How about a big round of applause for our court, our 2019 Miss Senior Citizen, Ingrid Siebold. Everyone. All right.
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the day, and you'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking